You can't be living off your child's SSI check. He's 20. He needs that money for himself. It's not for you. Do you understand? You're living off your 20-year-old son's disability check. This is the time for you to be honest with me so you won't come back here.
American Justice Files.
You know why you're here?
Complaint.
Yes. So what are you not doing? All right. And this is a probation case.
Oh,
Yes.
I give you one.
So what are you not doing? All right. So here's the issue we're having. The issue we're having is that you have a balance. You haven't paid your restitution. You're on probation for possession, 400 to 200 grams. So why are you not paying what you owe?
Or is that separate?
No, that's the $57 you owe to the SAPD for laboratory testing. And then you're behind on your fees. So the question is, why are you not paying?
Well, I have a limit that I'm only receiving the SSI from my son, right?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I'm only receiving the SSI from my son, so I'm not currently working, but I'm looking for work. I just haven't gotten a job.
How long have you been looking for work?
All
Right, everyone, please whisper. And I'm sorry, you're going to need to speak up. When's the last time you had full-time employment?
2 years ago, 2.5 years ago.
All right, so you need to get a job. You can't be living off your child's SSI check. He's 20. He needs that money for himself. It's not for you. Do you understand? So are you getting a government check for taking care of him as well? So you're living with your mom, your dad, your niece, and your 20-year-old son. How old is your niece?
7.
So what do you do at the home?
I take care of I also look out for my father. And just that, I'm there with my son and
Worn out.
their house. We walk and we do things together, but it's just come over.
All right. So here's the thing. You're getting employment. You can't continue. How old are you?
He's on a bond on this case, but he's
All right.
in jail on this.
You cannot
So I don't know if
continue.
they brought him
All
on.
right.
I
Just
think
one
they did.
second. Everyone, I am trying to keep this area as least congested as possible. Defense attorneys, grab your file from the box, give it to the prosecutor and have a seat. They will take you in the order in which you appear. I guarantee you just standing around hovering over them is not going to help things move quicker. It will be great for them if you do it orderly. Just give them your file, have a seat, they'll take care of you. You need to get employment. You can't continue to live off your son's disability, live off your mom, live off your dad. You understand? So how far did you go in school?
Okay.
All right. Did you go to college or go to a trade school?
Yes.
So what did you go to a trade school for? All right. So what are you doing with that?
No, I didn't keep up with renewing my credit, so I
All right. And I can tell you with this type of case, they're not going to give you your license back. So what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
The probation officer told me it was going to be kind of hard for me to get a regular job.
No, it's not hard for you to get a regular job. They have signs up at McDonald's. They have signs up at Wendy's. They have now. I can tell you this. Sometimes people think certain jobs are beneath them, but it's not hard to get a job. It's just there are jobs that people say, I'm not doing that. So you're going to have to knock your pride aside because right now you're a grown person and you're not supporting yourself. You're living off your 20-year-old son's disability check. You're living off your father. You're living off your mother. That's going to stop. You understand? So this is what I want for her. She's going to have employment and you're going to get employment within 30 days. You understand? So, and if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be? And you're getting drug tested today. So tell me the truth. I'm sorry, what? All right, we're going to give her a drug test today and we're going to alter them in conditions. I'm going to want employment.
Yes, ma'am.
Within 30 days.
Mhm.
And there's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. And if the previous judge didn't say it, I'm letting you know, you're not allowed to have an employment as a home healthcare provider. So if you are getting an extra check for taking care of your son, that needs to stop. You understand? All right. And we're going to do a UA today.
Yes, ma'am.
Probation, is there anything else she needs?
And, on the balance right now that I owe is at 95.
I'm sorry?
The balance I owe right now is 95.
No, the balance you owe right now is $170.10, but your total balance is $3,900. But I want you to pay that restitution. And what we're going to do is we're going to come up with a payment plan for you, okay? So I'm not going to hit you all at once, but I'm going to want her on a payment plan.
Okay,
Okay.
we can do that. The assigned officer, Officer Salcedo,
Mhm.
she noted on the court summary, on the supplemental report that the probationer had requested intensive outpatient treatment, although she was clean last month.
Mhm.
She stated that she was given drugs by her boyfriend, and the TAP that was completed recommended stative followed by aftercare or a lesser modality of intensive outpatient.
Who's your boyfriend?
Emilio Llamas.
I'm sorry, what?
Emilio Llamas.
First name?
Emilio.
Emilio.
Yes.
Last name?
Llamas.
Can you spell that?
LLAMAS.
All right. I'm sorry.
Spelled like llamas.
All right, thank you. All right, there's to be no contact with Emilio Lamas. And let me just tell you something. With regards to Emilio Lamas, if he's giving you drugs and he knows you're on probation and you could be looking at 20 years in prison, he's not your friend. He doesn't love you. You understand? Because if he loved you, he wouldn't be giving you drugs knowing that you're looking at going to prison for 20 years. So that relationship is over. And you can send it to him in a letter, and I'll allow you to put it in a letter or an email or a phone call today. But after today, you are no longer in a relationship with him. You understand? That's yes or no. When's the last time you saw him?
Why I left him like a week and a half ago.
All right. Well, then she doesn't have to contact him. He already knows the relationship is over. So there's to be no contact with Emilio Llamas. And let's monitor her on her UAs. And you say they're recommending intensive outpatient treatment?
The TAP, and I'm bringing the TAP up right now, Your Honor. The TAP was completed July 13th of this year. The original recommendation was residential treatment via SATIF followed by outpatient or followed by outpatient monthly urinalysis and weekly sober support. Should the court wish to consider a less structured modality, intensive outpatient followed by monthly urinalysis and documented sober support.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing, Ms. Robles. You know you better than I do. You know you better than probation do. This is the time for you to be honest with me so that we can get you the help that you need so you won't come back here. If you need help with a drug problem, I'm willing to give that to you because I want you to be successful. I don't want you to go to prison. But if you tell me you don't have a drug problem, then there's nothing for me to help you with. So you need to be honest with me, okay? I wasn't the judge who placed you on deferred adjudication. So let me ask you a few questions. What drugs have you been using and how often do you use them?
No,
Everyone, make sure your phones are off.
or that I did, or
Well, if you want to say did do, that's up to you. But when's the last time you used? And we're not on the record, so none of this is going to be held against you for a motion to revoke. But I'm trying to figure out who I'm communicating with. So if there's help that you need, we can get you the help that you need. You understand? So it's not a form of punishment. I normally don't look at inpatient treatment to begin with. That's something that I'll give if I see that it's needed over time. You understand? So, but I do need you to be honest with me and honest with probation about your drug use so we can get you the help that you need. So what do you want to say to me? And I know this is probably the first time you're meeting me or the second time you're meeting me, but I believe you can ask any attorney here that when I say that I'm doing this to try to see what help you need, That's the reason why I'm doing it. But if you're going to tell me I don't need any help, you're not going to get any help. And what's going to end up happening when you test positive, a motion to revoke is going to be filed. So anything I need to know? I'm sorry?
I would like to know. I would like this.
Okay, so what are you using? That's what I need to know so I can figure out whether to give you intensive outpatient treatment or just sober meetings or something of that nature. So what do you need help with?
No, I'm not under, I mean, I have since the last, I think a month and a half ago when I did,
And what did you use?
methamphetamine.
Okay, so we're going to do intensive outpatient treatment. We're going to start you with intensive outpatient treatment. And if you see that that's not working for you, you need more help, you need to let probation know, you understand? So we're going to do the intensive outpatient treatment with the sober meetings. And let's do a referral to felony drug court and see. Felony drug court is a great program and they'll be able to help you get in the mindset so you can get your life in order, okay?
Your Honor, how frequent did you want the UA tests?
Let's do the UA hotline for her for until she's in intensive outpatient treatment for at least a month.
And the frequency for the 12-step?
She needs to do at least one a week.
One a week.
Now, here's the thing about the 12-step program. If you only need it one time a week, great. But if you need it more than one time a week, that's not going to stop you from completing your probation. Because the thing about sobriety, you need to know what you need to do in order to remain clean and sober. And for some people, it's going to a meeting every day. And they have meetings throughout the city and they have them at all times of the day. So if you ever feel like you're going to use, go to a meeting. All right. Is there anything else you need? All right. You can do this. Otherwise, I wouldn't have accepted your plea bargain agreement. So it's doable. But from here on out, the people you're around, you need to be careful. And if anybody is trying to interfere with your sobriety or make you do something that could potentially send you to prison, they are not your friend and they do not love you. You understand? All right. Good luck to you.
The hearing opens with Judge Stephanie Boyd taking firm control of the courtroom, immediately asking Ms. Robles to explain why she violated the terms of her probation. Although the defendant admits she understands the reason for her appearance, she struggles to provide a clear justification for her actions. Judge Boyd quickly brings attention to the main concerns: unpaid restitution totaling $3,910, and the defendant's reliance on her adult son's SSI disability income to cover her expenses. The judge addresses the seriousness of the situation, making it clear that those benefits are meant solely for her son, not for her personal use. When questioned about her work history, Robles acknowledges that she has not maintained full-time employment for the past 2 years. In response, Judge Boyd orders her to find a job within 30 days, strictly prohibiting her from working as a home health aide or continuing to depend on family support. As the hearing continues, the atmosphere grows more intense when the topic of possible drug use is raised. The judge warns that any dishonesty will only make matters worse and could lead to further violations or even jail time. Robles shows hesitation, but is ultimately instructed to undergo drug testing and enroll in an intensive outpatient program, including mandatory 12-step meetings. Additional restrictions are put in place, including no-contact orders with certain individuals, reinforcing the importance of maintaining a positive and supportive environment. Throughout the proceedings, Judge Boyd maintains a balance between accountability and second chances, making it clear that compliance with the court's orders can help Robles avoid incarceration. Every issue, financial mismanagement, dependency, and potential substance abuse, is brought into the open, creating a tense and emotional courtroom atmosphere. By the end of the hearing, the expectations are clear: secure stable employment, complete treatment requirements, and fully comply with probation conditions. This case highlights the weight of personal responsibility, the consequences of poor decisions, and the firm yet guiding role of Judge Boyd in delivering justice. Thanks for watching Trial Breakdown TV, where real cases are broken down with clarity and impact.